Hey, how's it going guys? Phil here, and this is a review for the Swagtron T8 Hoverboard. You'll receive the hoverboard, AC power adapter, and an instruction manual. The manual has a lot of safety do's and don'ts, so it's worth a read to familiarize yourself with how this particular unit works. It's nicely illustrated and has proper English grammar, spelling, and punctuation. It'll provide you with tips like always wear a helmet, and don't ride the hoverboard over inclines or declines greater than 30 degrees. The board is a single unit with a pivot joint in the middle. It measures 25 inches across, 6 inches wide, and 6 inches tall. The body of the hoverboard is stamped steel, and since it has a lead-acid battery inside, it weighs a hefty 26 pounds. The wheels on the hoverboard are solid rubber and compact. They feature brushed aluminum hubcaps and are suitable for indoor and outdoor use. On each rubberized footpad is a raised sensor switch that you have to step on for the hoverboard to detect you. In the middle of the board is the logo printed on the metal housing. On the front edge, you have the charging port, status LED, and power button. The charging port is protected by a small rubber door, and it uses a proprietary 2-prong connector. To turn the unit on, press and hold the power button until the LED lights up green, and the board will start balancing itself. It might even move a little during self-balancing. To power the unit off, press and hold the power button again for 3 seconds. The self-balancing feature can be turned off by quickly pressing the power button once during startup. If you need to recalibrate the balance of the board, use a level to find the center of gravity on a flat surface and turn the unit on while continuing to hold the power button for an additional 6 seconds. The lights will flash alternately red and green to indicate when calibration is complete. Then you can turn the board off and on again. Getting on the hoverboard for the first time wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. You just need to step on one sensor and then quickly step up onto the second sensor. The board will balance automatically. Then to move forward, you have to lean slightly forward and apply pressure to your right or left foot to turn. To slow down, stop, or even reverse, you have to lean slightly back. The minimum weight of the rider should be 44 pounds, and the max weight limit is 200 pounds. There's also other restrictions, like using it only in weather above 32 degrees Fahrenheit and below 104 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll want to avoid overly rough terrain and choose relatively flat areas. This works well in my basement since it's linoleum tiled and meets all of these criteria. Alright, so let's take it outside. Here I'm riding on the pavement that's slightly uneven, but it doesn't have a lot of cracks or potholes. The hoverboard moves over it fine, but I can feel it fighting me a bit as I try to pick up speed and change direction. Although the hoverboard can go up to 7 miles per hour, I haven't yet worked up the courage to go that fast, at least not without a helmet and protective gear. When riding over grass, the hoverboard had a bit of a hard time, but you can also see that my yard is on an uphill slope, so oftentimes the board was fighting the incline and tilt, which I just don't think the motor was powerful enough to handle. On a full charge, the hoverboard has a range of about 5.5 miles, and that depends on the speed and the terrain that you're traveling over. The last surface that I tried this on was cement, and again on flat, even surfaces it performed pretty smoothly. I was able to travel a bit faster and more easily than over uneven ground. One surprising thing for me was how little you have to move in order to get the board to move or change direction. In most cases, it felt less like leaning in any particular direction and more of just a shift in pressure in your legs and feet. Overall, the hoverboard is pretty fun, and not all that hard to get a hang of. It might be a little bit of a challenge to find locations where you can use it with perfect terrain, but smooth paved walkways, bike trails, and parking lots seem to be good bets. I hope you enjoyed this review. You can ask me any questions in the comments. I'll put a link to the product in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and join me next time.